Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an interesting topic to go over, so we're going to jump to the article and have a little bit of a travel back in time to the year 2022 when FTX collapsed. But let's get an update on what's going on here. It's quite a interesting story. So it says right here, FTX exec's wife scheduled for November trial on campaign finance charges. So a Manhattan judge ordered that Michelle Bond's criminal trial start in November after he denied a motion to dismiss the indictment based on claims that prosecutors misled her husband over her charges. All right. So Michelle Bond, the wife of former FTX Digital Markets co-CEO Ryan Salame, who is now serving a 7.5-year prison sentence after Salame reached a plea agreement with prosecutors. The wife, Michelle Bond, is scheduled to stand trial in November following delays stemming from motions related to her husband's plea deal. So she's standing trial following delays stemming from motions related to her husband's plea deal. So on Wednesday, Judge George Daniels in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York ordered a trial start date of November 9th for Bond, who faces 4 charges related to campaign finance law violations. All right, so the proceedings came a week after the judge denied Bond's motion to dismiss the indictment based on claims that prosecutors had promised Salame she would not be charged if she pleaded guilty. Okay, she would not be charged if she pleaded guilty. All right, so Bond's case is one of the final criminal proceedings related to the collapse of cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which filed for bankruptcy in 2022. The event led to criminal charges for Salame and other executives, including former CEO Sam SBF Bankman-Fried and former Alameda research CEO Caroline Ellison. So in an August 2024 indictment, prosecutors allege that Bond and Salame illegally funded the former's 2022 campaign for the U.S. House of Representatives. Salame allegedly used $400,000 of FTX funds as part of a sham payment in violation of campaign finance laws. Bond ran as a Republican in New York's 1st congressional district, but lost in the primary to Nicholas LaLota. So she didn't technically make it to the general election. She lost in the Republican primary to Nicholas LaLota for the 1st District of New York for the 2022 election prior to redistricting after the 2020 census. All right, so Salame, charged in 2022 along with Bankman-Fried and others, was sentenced to 90 months in prison in 2024 after pleading guilty to conspiracy to make unlawful political contributions. He initially attempted to vacate his plea deal after claiming that prosecutors misled him over charging Bond, but ultimately reported to prison in 2024 and left the matter to his wife's case. Now, Bankman-Fried, angling for a presidential pardon, loses appeal. Salame, Bankman-Fried, and Ellison were the only 3 people tied to FTX to receive prison time. The other 2 executives, Nishad Singh and Gary Wong, were given time served after testifying against SBF at trial. Ellison, meanwhile, was released early in January after serving less than her 2-year sentence. So aside from Bond's expected trial, Bankman-Fried was the only one connected to the crypto exchange to have his day in court. He was found guilty on 7 felony charges and sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2024. Although Bankman-Fried filed to appeal his conviction and sentence, he also recently applied for a presidential pardon from Donald Trump. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals rejected SBF's appeal earlier this month, leaving the U.S. Supreme Court or a presidential pardon as his only likely path to freedom over the next 20 years. So this article kind of has it all. For some of us who have been following this for many years at this point, a lot's going on, but you have to really just sort of take it all in at this point because Salame is in prison, according to his LinkedIn profile. He mentions on his LinkedIn profile he's getting good at a lot of things, implementing the Dewey Decimal System. Now, in the prison library. All right, so she, the wife, seems to have been running for office for a November 2022 election, but she didn't technically make it because she lost in the primaries. Okay. Now, furthermore, the primaries, which is probably around summer months of 2022, whenever the Republican primaries are in the state of New York. But the other thing is that I think that in November 2022, that's when all of the arrests came in. So November 2022 was kind of a bad month for everybody at FTX because that's when everything really started to collapse. November, and then of course December of 2022, it got really ugly with all of the federal charges and those sorts of things. Now, the other thing that we learn in this article is it seems that the real heart of the matter, which is news for a lot of us, is that during the heyday of FTX, there was the effort for Salame to use $400,000 of FTX funds as part of a sham payment in violation of campaign finance law. So that's really what's going on here, is that Salame was co-CEO. He wanted to assist his wife, who was getting into politics. Salame was able to secure $400,000 of FTX funds. And then this seems to be in violation of campaign finance laws. Exactly how is not clear, but that is the charge. So and then of course the other key thing is that it seems that right here it says, based on claims that prosecutors had promised Salame, the husband, that his wife, she would not be charged if she pleaded guilty, which right there seems interesting, is that if you do plead guilty, would not you be charged, or would you, because you have to plead if you're being charged. So this is a bit difficult. You could say you've done something wrong but not be charged, but she's pleading guilty, assuming she won't be charged, which is interesting. But either way, it seems that if the charges stand and she's going to trial, these charges would be violation of campaign finance laws. That might be primary. It might be a secondary matter altogether, that $400,000 was itself maybe investor funds or commingled funds, or not properly sort of segregated funds inside of FTX, which went bankrupt. So that's a matter, but that's more for Ryan Salame to serve his time for misappropriating these company funds. But whether these funds were company funds legitimately or illegitimately, the receiving of those funds and using of those funds for a campaign for his wife, so Suffolk County seems to be Long Island, campaign finance laws. So unfortunately, it seems that if you want to run in Long Island in a Republican primary, even if you have at least $400,000, you're going to have a tough time even getting out of the primaries inside of your party many months before the general election in November. So that's where we're going to leave this article. Wanted to share that with you guys. And once again, as we like to do on every video, quickly remind you that we are cryptodeposit.org. We are, for the most part, still focused on family offices and institutional, but everybody's welcome. You can connect your wallet here. We have dozens of wallets available. Our partner website, Crypto, of course, MetaMask, which I am using for the most part. You have dozens and dozens of wallets you can simply connect and scan. And then, of course, up top, you can deposit your cash if you so wish. Bank wires. You can buy stables, USDC, USDT. You can deposit stables. All right. There's a yield curve that you can tap into. Your holdings, once you've connected your wallet, that will all populate on both your wallet and then on the screen here. Borrowing and lending is ready to go. So once again, just connect your wallet. OTC is more about sort of a request for proposal. So if you wanted to do OTC, so for example, this would be above 50,000, 50K. And then of course statements, messages, XMTP, which we have a YouTube video on, activity history, and then the last two tabs would be exchange and swap. So hopefully we're going to get maybe some videos on those dedicated to those functions, but we've got a white paper video as well. If you guys wanted to kick back and listen to the white paper, there's a YouTube video on that. Otherwise, feel free to email us at info@cryptodeposit.org. info@cryptodeposit.org. We can get you onboarded right away, or just message us on the YouTube channel anywhere, and we will be more than happy to onboard you. So wanted to share a video today on FTX. It's always interesting to talk about FTX because for those of us that have been in the industry for quite a while, just an amazing case study of the highs and the lows. So I didn't know just how far it extended to the wife of one of the co-CEOs, Ryan Salame. So with that being said, for today's video, let's just end it here for now. Wishing you all a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever y'all may be, and see you again on another video very soon, as we will cover something else related to people behaving badly in crypto. So until then, have a great one. Talk soon.